So what about love? What about love? What happened to real love? People just don't love like they used to. This is all I be hearing in my comments. This is all I be seeing in my notifications. And guys, I'm getting irritated. And maybe I just need to work better at clarifying myself. And maybe this is just feedback that I need to take to use to better communicate my sentiments here, because y'all got me fucked up. Like, you guys must be thinking that when I'm talking about receiving devotion from a man and being in a relationship with a man who cares enough about me to facilitate my financial well-being, you guys must think that it's loveless. You guys must think that I'm some sort of like robot who has no feelings outside of take money, take more money, take his money, take your man's money, take everyone's money. Like, guys, I need to make it explicitly clear. Okay. I am capable of loving a man. Shock, horror. Impossible. I'm very capable of loving a man, okay? I have my stipulations and standards that would make me feel more likely to love that man. I feel like I have to be really, really, really explicit in my explanation of this, because people seem to have an impression of me that is just not in line with the truth of who I am. And that's irritating. And I only got this feedback recently from a conversation I had with a guy friend, who I'm really grateful that I had that conversation with him, because he gave me some insight on how my message is being perceived by men, especially as a black man. It's really fascinating to hear that from his perspective, the reason why a lot of black men don't like me is because I remind them of their nagging mother who made them feel like they were not good enough. Which, you know, fair dues. If I remind you of your nagging mother, I can't do anything about that, because one, I'm not nagging, because nagging implies I'm asking you to do something repeatedly that you're not doing for me. I ain't asking no man for anything. I just have my expectations. There's a difference between asking for something and expecting it. I have expectations, and if you can't meet them, then you don't need to be here. Just to make that one clear. Secondly, the idea that a lot of people, including women, are of this impression that I am just looking for money, not looking for. First of all, I'm not looking for anything. I love my life. I'm in a very content place. But if I was to involve myself romantically with a man, then I would be more likely to give him a chance of me if he had money, because I like the feeling of being taken care of. I like when my life is made easier. When someone is in love with you, they want to look out for you, especially when a man is in love with you. When a man is in love with you and he has the means, the resources, the time, the desire, he will definitely make you feel looked out for and looked after. So when people are like, so what about love? It's all about love. This is all about love. This is about rewriting your definition of love. This is about expanding your definition of love. This is about having enough aspiration to believe that you're deserving of a love that's even bigger than what you've been accepting. And when we turn the spotlight onto me and discuss how I would behave when I'm in love, first of all, I'm a big softie, innit? Okay? Man's a fucking softie out here. Man's a fucking teddy bear, yeah? So I have to protect this softie, and not for everyone. So when you hear me talking all these standards, yeah, I'm talking about all these things that I would expect for me to open up, it's because when I love people, I am very, very involved and invested, and I am deeply caring and present, and that takes a lot out of me. But if I'm with the right person, I wouldn't be drained. I would feel mutually poured into. Okay? A lot of people are curious about what it would be like if I was in love with a man. You know, I sometimes get quite shady remarks from my friends, and look, I love you lot. I'm never going to take it personally. I just It is what it is. Sometimes my friends will say to me, well, it's not really all my friends, it's like a particular friend. If you're listening to this, girl, I still love you, okay? It's not an issue. But I have a particular friend who says to me, she just hopes that one day, like, I fall in love with this guy, like I'm head-sprung, head over heels, whipped, and it's not a guy who has money. And to me, that feels really negative. Like, that feels like bad vibes. Like, girl, why are you wishing me that? That's really weird. But I understand what she's saying. I think she finds it amusing that I'm this headstrong in my outlook towards love. And then because she believes deep down that when someone is in love, they don't have any control, or when someone is in love, they don't care about anything else other than the love that they feel. I understand why people think like that, but I'm not like that. I'm just not like that. And I know a lot of people probably feel similar to my friend, where they want to see a situation, because I think it'll be great television to see someone like me hashtag end up with a broke man because, oh, I guess money isn't everything after all. I guess in the end, real love is just having someone to sit across the table and eat reheated pasta with on a Sunday while we watch catch up Netflix. I guess I was just being really unrealistic in desiring a life that's fun and vibrant, where we can fly around the world and do fun things together. Like, people so badly want to see that happen to me. I just want to tell you, like, it's not happening, innit? Challenge accepted. But like I said, my friend who I'm talking about, she's not bad vibes. I think she just has a sense of humor where she knows what I'm like. She knows I'm so headstrong that she just thinks it'll be amusing to see me head over heels whipped over a guy who has nothing going for him, because that would be her definition of me being in real love. Because a lot of people hold a similar belief that when you're in love, you don't have any sense of self-control or standards or character judgment. You just kind of throw everything into the air and let it fall to the ground while you focus on this person that you're now newly in love with. And it's like, but my love isn't for everyone. So for me to get to a place where I'd be in love, I need to first of all like you. For me to like you, there would need to be things about you that make me feel drawn enough to you to start feeling that sense of maybe occasionally daydreaming about you, or, you know, the things you do when you're starting to fall for someone. Like, for me to do those things, like, there's levels to this. So to all y'all haters wishing that I end up a broke man, back to sender. It's not happening. It's not happening. Okay. When people be in my comments being like, what about love? What about it? Tell me about love. Tell me why you lot who be in my notifications, spamming me with these what about love comments. Why are you lot so obsessed with love? Because if the people who are so obsessed with love actually like cared to be in a quality version of the love they're so obsessed with, they wouldn't be having the problems that they're having, because a lot of people are overlooking dangerous situations because of love. Ooh, let's go there. A lot of people will be mad. A lot of people will be mad. A lot of people are in situations and problems they got no business being in because of love. A lot of women are in debt right now because of love. A lot of women are in situations that they secretly regret. Yeah. You know, I've spoken to a few women who have kids, and some of them have been brave enough and honest enough to say that they regret it. And it's not because they hate their children. No, it's the situation that they're in, the man they had the children with or the child with, and how much more they're struggling. And these people that are same age as me, like, these are real honest conversations that women deserve to be able to hold space for. I don't think having children is a casual decision to make. It's a really tough thing to do, even if you have money. It's tough. It's demanding, time-wise, emotionally. Like, it's demanding. You don't just casually have a kid with someone. But there are women who deep down, they low-key regret it because They could have patterned themselves better. And I have high respect for people who are able to have that level of honesty with themselves. But a lot of those people who are harboring those regrets are the people who are like, what about love? Well, what about it? What about it? Tell me, what about it? Because I stand 10 toes on the belief that if a man loves you, he will make your life easier. I stand 10 solid toes on the belief that if a man loves you, he will improve your life. What is the man there for if he's not improving your life? How are you telling me you have a boyfriend who loves you, but you're still struggling with the same problems you had before you met him? What is the man there for? Because if he's there to have sex with you and to like keep you company, girl, I'm not gonna lie, the sex part, you can handle that by yourself. The keep company part, that's what your friendship and your community, that's what your friendships and your community is for. I'm not understanding what the man is there for if you're still paying the same bills that you're struggling with. You're still paying the same bills by yourself. You're still in the same financial turmoil that you was in before. You're still pretty much handling everything on your own. What is the man there for? What's he there for? To give you validation? To cheer you on while you do it by yourself? Because to me, it feels like the equivalent of carrying heavy shopping bags. Yeah, you done a big grocery shop at Tesco and you're walking home, you're carrying like 4 heavy shopping bags and a man has emerged out of nowhere to come and talk to you. Yeah, and he's just walking next to you on the pavement talking to you, but you're still carrying those bags on your own. You're visibly breaking sweats. You're trying to catch your breath in between sentences because the bags are so heavy, and he's not offered to carry a single bag for you. He's just there walking next to you empty-handed while you're struggling on your own. That is what it feels like, and that is what it comes across to me as when people are telling me that they're in love with their boyfriends or doing nothing for them. Why are you in love with him? What's he doing for you that's making you so in love that you feel so deeply enmeshed and connected with him that it's either him or you can't imagine your life without him, but your life is still hard with him in it. So why can't you imagine your life without him? Because you're better off single. If a man is in your life and he can't do anything for you and you're still struggling just as much as you were before you met him, you're still better off single. Because when you're single, at least you're not occupied with any man in your head. So you can always meet somebody who's better. You are just one encounter away from a different life, you know. I don't think we're deep in this. You could go out next week and meet somebody who's making 3 times what your boyfriend who you're lugging around is making, and your life could become dramatically different. Men don't have that kind of luck, you know. Like, that's one thing about being a woman, that you deserve to leverage it. You deserve to leverage that shit. Like, you never know who you might meet. You never know how he might change your life. That man might love you so much, yeah, that he just doesn't want you to lift a finger. It is possible. It can happen for you. Guys, I get DMs all the time from women telling me that they used to be dating useless men who they will be arguing with all the time. Those men will be telling them what they should wear. Those men will be antagonizing them, making them feel unattractive. And then they met a new guy who is the complete opposite. That man is paying every bill for them, even looking after the kids that they had from a previous partnership with some other man who wasn't even good enough. This new guy is like just being a fucking G, being a whole man. And the women in these same DMs are telling me about how much they feel so relieved and happy to just relax into the love that they're feeling with this man. That's what it's about, girl. So if we're talking about the same thing. When people are coming to my comments being like, what about love? Girl, this is all about love. This is all of this is about love. Do you think if a man is devoted to you financially that he doesn't love you? What, you think he hates you? How does that work? Do you understand how men's minds work at all? Like, do you understand? Because I feel like I have quite a robust understanding of men's minds. I know that a lot of men will disagree because they don't want to believe that, but I think I understand men to a degree that most people probably don't. Like, I understand how broke men's minds work, but I have quite a interesting understanding of how moneyed men's minds work too. We can sit here all day and talk about the negative things associated with men who have money and how there's, you know, elements of control and hypermasculinity and grandiosity. That's a portion of those men. Every man who has money isn't like that. Just like how you guys will die on the hill of defending broke men, but we all know broke men tend to be draining, complaining, no ambition, relying on you. But not every broke man's like that. There are some broke men who are trying, who are actively on a journey of repairing their situation. They're ambitious and they're acting on their ambition. And I applaud them. I'm not going to date them, but I applaud them. I don't need to reward a man with my body to applaud him from afar. I believe anybody who is trying, I rate that, but I don't have to sleep with you to rate you. So a lot of women be giving men pity pussy, falling in love with men based on who they think that man's going to be in 5 years' time. Do you think that if a man is in a room, yeah, and he sees what he considers the most unattractive woman in the room, do you think he's going to go for that unattractive woman and be like, well, you never know, in 5 years' time she might be attractive? Or do you think he's going to go for the most attractive woman to him in the room? Like, men really don't be doing that whole potential thing, you know. They be selfishly choosing women according to what their desires are in that moment and what they need the most. But you're here feeling bad because broke men need love too. But they don't need your love. They need someone else's. Does it have to be you? Must it be you? Why does it have to be you? Because, you know, someone else can do that. And also, I do think that broke men can make great friends. You don't have to date a man because you feel sorry for him. You don't have to give a man access to your body because you feel bad. You can be anti-capitalism and still not want to die in poverty. Do you know that? It's possible to want a man to protect you from poverty and to be anti-hyper-consumerism. Okay? I know some people are going to be like, that's a trash argument. That's not true. You're allowed to think what you think. Look, I don't like to buy things from Shein, Temu. I'm hearing this new one called Temu. Because I thought Shein was like the ultimate boss of landfill and toxic waste and overconsumption. But I heard there's Temu, which is apparently even cheaper than Shein. This is not an ad. I am not encouraging you to shop at either of these. Please don't if you can avoid it. Because fast fashion is ruining the environment and it's affecting places like where I'm from, Nigeria. Because they come to our countries to dump all this shit that no one is wearing after one use. But what I'm trying to get at here is like, when we are going down this lane of like, oh, the broke man is trying, and you just need to give him a chance, and yeah, rich men are scary, and yeah, when you love somebody, XY, it's like, look, we need to just sit down for a minute, yeah, and recenter ourselves for a minute. Can we do that? Because where I was going with the Temu and AliExpress is like, people have this argument against capitalism, and I support it. I don't promote fast fashion. I get offered to, you know, sell fast fashion brands. I like to avoid that. I like to stay away from that because I don't believe in encouraging people to consume more and more and more and more. Having said that, like, if I come across something that I think people might enjoy, maybe I might promote it. But if you notice if you've followed me on Instagram for a while, I'm not, there's no fast fashion that I'd be promoting. It's just not me. It's not my style. Yet at the same time, that doesn't mean that because I am against the oppression of dark-skinned people as a means of buying convenient fast fashion, that I would in the same breath be against being with a man who can protect me from poverty? Like, people be conflating the wrong arguments all the time. So it's like, being anti-capitalist doesn't mean that you should die in poverty, babe. Like, being anti-capitalist doesn't mean that you should only date broke men. Two things can be very true at once. And I think we need to start welcoming nuanced thinking, okay? Give yourself room to accommodate two ideas at once. I personally do not resonate with men who can't do anything for me. The man that I will know that I will love is the man that will pour into me, because as a woman, and I know most women can resonate and attest to this, women pour into the people that we love. Women give our emotions and our devotion, our presence, our time. We give our futures to being with men who we love. It is so valuable. Have you seen how a man transforms when he's been loved by a woman? This is the very reason why, statistically speaking, men benefit more from marriage than women do. And it's the same reason why, statistically speaking, unmarried men have shorter lifespans than married men. The bulk of the reasoning behind that is because when men marry women, most of those men are marrying into an environment where the woman is doing the bulk of the house labor. They basically have like a maid that they're living with who they can have sex with. Like, most women are in patriarchal setups in their marriage, right? So men are benefiting heavy from marriage. I know that I'm not going to have that problem when I'm married to a man, because I wouldn't marry somebody who feels like he can make me cook because he has money. First of all, if a man's got money, he can afford to hire people to clean the house. And if he wants cooked food, he can hire a cook, or there's Deliveroo. I'm not cooking. I don't like cooking. I'm not cleaning. Not a fan of doing that in a big house that I imagine I'd be living in with a man who I might be having kids with. Hire help. That's what your money is for. I'm here to rest and be loved. So when we're doing all this, what about love? We're all talking about love. It's just that your definition of love is a struggle love that you have bound yourself to. You don't believe that you can dream bigger. You believe that love is finding somebody who you will struggle with and you'll both wither away. I'm not doing that. I decided that I'm not doing that. Nobody can stop me. And the best part is, nobody can stop me. Like, you need to decide what your definition of love is and only entertain what resembles that definition. Because when I love a man, like I said, I am very present. I am very, very, very active. I am very, very emotionally involved. And I know how expensive it is to recover from investing in the wrong man. It is emotionally expensive and it's financially expensive, because when your emotions have taken a beating, you are less motivated to go out into the world and work because you're depressed and you want to stay in bed and you want to go process your thoughts and you want to go cry. I'm not having a man stop my bag. He has to be big, making my bag bigger. He has to make it worth it. My love is expensive. I'm sorry that your love hasn't got any value, but mine is very expensive because I know what my love can do for a man. I've seen it firsthand. So with that being said, when we're doing the whole what about love thing, this is all about love. And I really, really want to make that clear, because a lot of people have this like flimsy argument of, yeah, but I don't want to be bought. What do you mean you don't want to be bought? What do you mean you don't want to be bought? So you think that you're more free by being with a guy who can't do anything for you at all than you're free when you're with a man who is investing in you. Mind you, you're still making your own money in both situations. When you're with the broke guy, you have no choice but to still have your own money, because that man can't do shit for you. You're gonna have to work. But when you're with a guy who has money, you have the option of working. You will always have your own stream of income if you decide that's going to be the case for you, which I'll always advise, because I believe in walking away from men. If they don't make you feel the way you want to feel, you have to walk away. You have to walk away, because that will set a precedent. When you have your own money, you can afford to walk away. So always have your own money regardless. But what I'm saying is, The whole idea of, yeah, but like if you're with a man who's got money because of his money, it means you're being bought. Do you guys understand what bought means? Because it's that same fucking swerfy rhetoric. Swerfy means sex worker exclusionary radical feminism. Swerfy idea of like sex workers are selling their bodies. I don't want to sell my body. Unless you are selling your literal organs and you're signing up for human trafficking, where you're literally selling your organs, like your kidneys and your liver, unless you're selling the actual portions of your body parts, you're not selling your body when you are selling an experience. What's real concerning is the women who are laying up in them unwashed sheets with broke men, and they think they're better than women because they're doing it for free. You're literally hustling backwards. You're not even hustling. You're not even getting... Hustling implies you're getting something out of it. You're getting nothing out of it. If anything, shit's being taken from you. You're getting nothing in return. But you're convincing yourself that because there's no visible transaction, that the engagement you're in is more pure than the situation next door to you, where there's a woman who maybe receives cash gifts from her man and her rent is paid by her man who loves her, and this man is always sending flowers to her. He makes sure that if she wants her hair done, he's paying for that. If she wants to travel to Lanzarote, he's paying for that because he can and he wants to, and because she can and she wants to receive it. You gotta think big, man. You gotta be thinking big, girl. You need to think big. Because look, me, I can't be bought. My trust can be earned, but it can't be bought. There's no numerical value that would make me lose my sense of self or my standards. It's not about someone buying you out of yourself. It's not about someone buying you out of your truth. It's about knowing that your time is worth it, and there are certain experiences that you're more inclined to want to involve yourself in because you know you could be elsewhere. You know what your time means to you. So it matters to be compensated for your time. Until you experience it, you won't know what I'm talking about. Until you finally experience what it's like to feel loved more than just in words, you're never going to turn back. You're going to be like, oh my God, is that what this girl's been saying all this time? If anything, you'll look back in the past and you're going to be so annoyed at yourself that you didn't do this sooner. I promise you. Because if that man is in love with you, he'll want you to feel like he's got your back. He will want you to feel like he is your protector. And here comes the following argument that I get all the time from women being like, yeah, but if you want to be with a man who is protecting you, that's infantilizing. So which one is it, guys? Because the whole reason feminism exists is because men are a dangerous, oppressive force. We wouldn't need feminism if men weren't people we had to protect ourselves from. So, if we're going to be laying with men and sleeping with them, then we need to be with men who are going to protect us from the other dangerous men. Isn't that the whole point? We also need to be with men who will protect us from the system that they created to oppress us. Women are socio-economically disadvantaged. We are socially disadvantaged and we are economically disadvantaged. So if we're going to be partnering with the very people who reinforce a system that keeps us disadvantaged, then surely it would make sense to partner with the people who have more resources for us, because then we can be less disadvantaged. And if you're smart and you're wearing your big girl thinking cap on, you would be taking the money that man is giving you and reinvesting it in yourself in such a way that that money he's giving you is multiplying. Gotta be thinking big, girl. Gotta be thinking big. Okay? We need to be thinking big. And you know what? I get told that I sound like a robot all the time. Like, I get told that I'm just cold and this is unrealistic. I'm okay with people calling me that. I'm okay with that because you don't need to know what I'm like when I'm in love. You don't need to know that. The people who know, they deserve to know. Like, and there's different kinds of love. There is romantic love. There is the love you have for the people in your life, in your community. Like, the guy friends in my life who have experienced my love, they know what my love is like. So I don't need to prove to people on the internet or to strange men who I'm never going to touch that I'm capable of love. Like, if you're not feeling the love from me, it's because you don't deserve it. And also, to clarify, for people who be like, she hates men. Jesus is Lord. I actually don't hate men. I hate patriarchy. And to expand on that further, I don't hate men. I hate men who reinforce patriarchy. But that's most men. So now where does that leave us? Because I think the mistake a lot of women be making is like feeling like they have to like constantly disclaim that they don't hate men. I think it's very okay for oppressed people to have resentment towards their oppressor. Let me just make that one clear. Any group of people who are oppressed by another group of people, within that group of oppressed people, there will be some who may have sympathy towards their oppressors. There'll be some in that oppressed group who will have resentment towards their oppressors, and there'll be some in that group who have more of a neutral stance towards their oppressors. Everybody in that group who all feel differently, you guys are allowed to have your feelings. Okay, I'm not here to radicalize anybody because most people don't have the range and they'll never be able to do it how I do it anyway. But we need to hold space for the women who hate men, because it's okay to hate people that kill you. I think that sounds fair in my opinion. Because what people want is for us to still be making excuses for men. We spend our whole lives tiptoeing around men's feelings. We spend our whole lives accommodating men before ourselves to no avail. And this is the same thing when we apply these dynamics to white people and black people. Black people spend our whole lives tiptoeing around white people. Black people spend our whole lives being marginalized by white people. And then we're still expected on top of that to be loving towards them and not call out what they're doing. So listen, like I said, every oppressed group will have those who hold resentment towards their oppressors, and we must hold space for that. If you're annoyed that oppressed people hold resentment towards their oppressors, then eradicate the oppression. You can't eradicate the anger because the anger is a response to the oppression. Glad we got that sorted. Gods. Because listen, you see these men, they be trying to make you feel like you're not good enough for them to give it all for. Every single man on this planet, there's a woman he would give it all for. There is. If it's not you, then you shouldn't be with him. You need to ask that man how he would behave if his dream girl walked into the room. If your dream girl walked into the room, how would you behave? Would you ask her to go and walk outside in Clapham Common as a date? Would you? Or will you save all of your pocket money and take her somewhere nice and hope that she likes you enough to see you again? Your dream girl walks into the room. What do? Your dream girl gives you the once in a lifetime chance to date her. How would you treat her? Because I guarantee you, most of you lot that's dating these men, you're not their dream girl. You're the girl that's here for now while he waits for his dream girl to enter his life. You're the girl that's here now while he builds himself at your expense to be good enough for his dream girl. You don't know? You are the intermission. Don't have it, fam. Personally, I wouldn't have that. If you're not his dream girl, why are you dating him? Because if you're not his dream girl and you're dating him, you're getting a capped experience. Do you know that? You might be entitled to compensation. Do you know that? Oh. But listen, I said earlier that a lot of black men, they dislike me. My DMs show otherwise, but a lot of black men dislike me. And I think it's quite interesting because my suspicion is that they are scared of being seen desiring me in front of other men. And I would go as far as likening this to a lot of like down low gay men who are scared of being seen, being attracted to men, because both concepts are perceived by other men as a sign of weakness. I think a lot of men think it's a sign of weakness to fancy me, whilst a lot of, down low gay men feel like it's a sign of weakness if other men catch them liking men. And why I say weakness is because I'm a very strong woman. I'm very convicted. I'm very bold. And a lot of men, black men mainly, be having their little discussions. Be like, that Slumflower girl, did you see what she said? Fucking wild, what the fuck, man? Who does she think she is, bruv? She's a 4 out of 10 anyway. But they're secretly watching. I see you guys coming to watch my stories of me pole dancing. You don't follow me, so I know that you're sharing my stuff in the group chat and you're coming to look at me. But then you can't help the fact that you are in a complicated bondage with your desire for me, because you just so much wish that I'll be seen and never heard. You wish that I would just shut up and pole dance and be pretty and not have thoughts. And that's never going to happen. And that's why you feel like it's a sign of weakness to be attracted to a woman like me, because you can't assert your dominion over here. As a broke man, you don't run nothing around here. You run nothing over here. And that's very challenging for you, because you're used to using your muscles and biceps to intimidate other women into liking you. You're used to using your struggling rap career to entice women who base their attraction off of optics. And for some reason, that shit don't work around here, and you hate that for yourself. You wish so badly that I would just stop having self-esteem and allow you to press my nyash that you're so much coming to look at. You think I don't know what you're doing? And that's why I think it's so important as a black woman to always ask for more. Demand more, because even the people in your community, the men in your community expect you to have lower self-worth because they don't want to pour into you. I've seen black men give more to white women than they do to black women. And that to me is fascinating. Oh, so fascinating. And the reason why it's so fascinating is because they still see white women as some sort of like trophy, but they low-key see black women as the help, and we're expected to just take whatever because that's what they saw their mums take. Yeah, I'm not going to struggle like your mum did. Whatever you saw your dad put your mum through, I'm not going to be doing that. You understand? So you better reckon with that and decide what you're going to do about this attraction that you secretly harbor for me, because it's obviously not going away anytime soon. I'm only getting more and more sexy in a very aggressive manner, and the sexiness is exponentially growing. So your curiosity and your attraction is growing in a way that you can't control. And I know that you have a very complicated relationship with that, which is why you keep coming to look at me. But then in the comment section, you be calling me a 4 out of 10, because men know that beauty is capital for a woman. Men also want to control the way women see themselves, which is why when a man catches a woman exhibiting high self-esteem, what's the first thing he's going to do? He's going to tell her that she's ugly anyway, in the hopes that her believing that she's ugly will stop her from thinking highly of herself, because men value beauty. And men know that beauty is what grants a woman access in this world. Men value you for how you look. So that's why you need to value them for what they have. You value me for my appearance. I value you for what's in your pockets, not your dick. Move that to the side. Let me see the cash in your pockets, because that's what is going to be useful for my life, not your dick. And men hate to hear that, because most of them don't have what you need. Men benefit from you being dick thirsty, because they're always going to have dick. Will they always have money? No. They benefit from you having low self-esteem. There are men in this world who know what a pussy feels like because somebody at some point had low self-worth, low enough self-worth to let them inside their body. That's the only reason why these men know what a pussy feels like. That to me is shocking. That to me is bizarre as hell. So the next time someone wants to ask me, what about love? Well, this is all about love. If he loves you, he'll give you his everything. And if he ain't giving you everything, then you're not his dream girl. There, done. The end.